Jordan open.
I got 2 twin Glocks strapped to my hip. One for the ops, one for the dip. Got the drip on me, and she take a sip. Doing shit you never see, like a junior crib. Got a shorty in the club, going dumb. Pour another drink from the night to the wine. Party all night, getting lit to the sun. Doing shit for fun, throw another one. Hey, I got 2 twin Glocks strapped.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dreams Not Fame podcast with your boy, The Hype. I'm with my guy, Troy from Silverback, Brown Belt, one of the coaches over there. What is up, my guy? Damn, that is loud as fuck. What's good, man?
What's good?
Man, it's been a while. We when we were wrapping this up, I remember we were talking, and you were like, I want to come on before IBJJF. Well, hold up. Let me rewind this back. But the first thing we got to talk about first, before we get into anything training, because we're going to talk about training, we're going to talk about jiu-jitsu, talk about overall fitness, and your videos on YouTube. Drama as well, guys. How's your mental health today?
It's good, man.
That's
it's
good.
I think, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I turned 25 in January. And
Dude, I thought you were older than me.
I get that a lot.
That's military.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I tell people it's stress.
Oh, man. It's the stress.
I don't get carded. I haven't been carded in years.
I haven't been carded since I was 18. Like, when you get the beard, it's good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you just stop sleeping. You just go into the military, stop sleeping.
Yeah, 4-hour days. 4-hour nights and 3 hours and all that. Yeah, that wasn't for me.
It has its ups and downs, but my mental health is good. I think turned 25 recently. I don't know if that's when they say your brain is fully developed or if it's like a little bit of confidence that I've gotten. But
yeah.
God knows, I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. It's gone. I used to care a little bit.
Yeah.
And it would get to me. Now, not at all. And that's freeing.
It's definitely a frame of mind. I definitely think that when you get older in life, you definitely get to that point where you say, I don't give a fuck. There's certain things I stopped giving a fuck about. Like, I started giving a fuck about certain things at 25. At 29, I started giving a fuck about what everybody thinks about my hair. Mm-hmm. So I'm going through the ODB phase, growing my hair out. Like, I stopped giving a fuck about what corporate America thinks and stuff like that. So
I guess we're doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah, because I saw when I first met you 2 years ago in the pandemic, you were straight Army Reserve, correct? Hello, guys. How you know? You completely fine. We all have random guests in here. It's completely fine. Walk through. Go to the bathroom. It is fine. Y'all have a wonderful time.
We should start interviewing people.
I know, dude. I do it all the time. I do it. Last time I had. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, bro. How's your mental health?
How's your mental health today? Before you take a shit.
Before you take a shit, how's your mental health?
Mental health. How's your mental? Yeah. Oh, it's horrible.
Hey,
smoke some weed.
At least you're honest.
At least you're honest, man.
I love that somebody says it's terrible and you say do drugs.
Do drugs. Immediately just do drugs. Just do drugs. Do as much as you can. Nah, I'm not like that. I smoke on a constant basis. But nah, that is not normal. Every single time, I will say each visitor has come through here has been very, very interesting. Last one was a very beautiful black lady. I complimented her on her locks. And she walked through and I actually got 1 new follower because of that. So I was like, all right, cool. I got a new fan. And now we got 2 people over here having a good time walking through, talking about mental health, taking the shit. So it's completely fine.
How's your mental health?
My mental, thanks for asking, man. My mental is great. I had a great day yesterday, which kind of gets and segue a little bit with IBJJF. Your team did amazing. Yeah, everybody was racking up gold. I saw Cam's fight. I saw Will's fight. I saw so many people's fights. I saw John's. I was talking to John. John was wrapping up with everybody. Every time I saw John was talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, you're okay. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Look, it's echo. It's going fine. You're going to show up on camera. Get your little 2 cents in. You
Oh, my
goodness. And she doesn't know we were talking about them taking a shit. But nah, my mental's been great, man. I had a great day yesterday at IBJJF. Big Brothers and Silverback did wonderful. Mm-hmm. Some other schools, Gracie Baja was down there in force. I think 90 deep. They were really out there. So my mental is great today because it's just my performance, but there's so many things I can do better at. But my next question is, when we were talking about backtracking, and I'm going back on this, we were talking about your performance at IBJJF. Mm-hmm. Did you get into IBJJF or you just got the cutoff point?
So I think last I was signed up for IBJJF was a blue belt.
Yeah.
And so I went to sign up in maybe February, and there's a long process, right? It's been 6 or 7 years since I've been under the IBJJF's records.
Yeah.
So signing up as a brown belt, it's not something you can just do. So it took a long time. I had to actually get not Tom DeBlas, not Sean. I had to get Holes Jr. to approve paperwork saying that I was. Look at that flush.
I know it was just.
I need to save that sound.
Oh man, no, it just randomly just have a mic in.
Somebody's shit rolling down the toilet. Somebody's Chipotle clogging up the drain. I had to have Holes Jr. actually approve paperwork
because you skid purple and you got brown.
Yep.
Damn.
So imagine from the IBJJF's perspective, blue belt in whatever 2016, and now it's 2022, and I'm raising my hand saying I'm a brown belt. So it took a while.
Yeah.
As soon as it was approved, I went to sign up. That was only about a
Have
month.
a nice one, man. It's all right, and you're on camera too, my guy. So yeah. But yeah, so
it was a month and a half before the DC Open occurred, and as soon as I went to sign up, it was already packed. I joined the wait list, but it is what it is.
I don't see a point of having a wait list when the wait list. I didn't know anybody that got in through the wait list.
I don't know either. And look, at least it's a good sign. It'll likely come back, right? Because it was packed so quickly.
Yes.
I'm a little bit more upset. I've done IBJJF, but it's been a long time. I never paid attention to the points, and now that we got some of my good friends and athletes, brothers, doing the same thing, paying attention to points. I want to be in that game.
Yes.
There's ego involved. I want that.
Yeah.
And the number one guy was there, Sean Yadamarco, from my division, adult brown belt, I think 188 and below. I was hungry. I wanted that. Watching his tapes, I'm like, I got this. This is easy money. If you go in confident, just make a statement immediately.
Oh, man.
I would have loved that.
Dude, that's heartbreaking to know that the one guy you wanted to face and the only holdback was the stuff from blue to brown. And I can definitely understand that but mine's different because when I signed up at the 95% mark, and I had to get, it really was, I talked to my professor who immediately approved it. He went from that to, it went to that. Now I immediately signed up, got in, and I think an hour later it closed. So I definitely understand. And I was the one of the lucky ones because I had one of my teammates, same thing, Dollar approved it, but then it took a while for some back end process for one of my other guys. He couldn't get in. So I definitely understand that the struggle of that, but also at the same time, this IBJJF, and no diss to them because they run great enough tournaments.
Am I making you nervous?
No. I got no beef with them, but I think they make great enough tournaments and obstacles that we like. It is a very great tournament. You have rated top ranked guys, and it's our basically our league, our UFC in terms of respect, and some other people's. So it's like I definitely understand that. However, I think this IBJJF in DC was a little bit too quick. I think we should have had 2 days. I think the downside of everything at the IBJJF on this one, even though I won gold, I won my first IBJJF gold, and it's been 7 years. Thank you. Hold up. There we go. So we got my first gold, but the thing with me was that I only had one guy in my division, and the other guy didn't show up. I actually went up in weight class because I knew I wasn't going to make weight. And the guy that I faced actually moved up from super to ultra. So it was going to be 3 of us. I was like, all right, cool. I get my money's worth. And then it was just me and him. And I got the dub, but I was like, it's like one match. I'm like, yeah, I got the dub. Yes, I'm happy. Yes, I got the submission. But I want to go through that gauntlet, you know? Yeah. And that's why I was more excited for the absolute, but I got thrashed out absolute. But yeah, my overall thing with IBJJF, it was just too soon. It was too soon to fill up. I think we need 2 days.
Yeah, I actually emailed IBJJF and I said, hey, in this division, you've only got 2 guys. If you let me join, at least it's a full podium. I mean, because that's got to be kind of weird as an athlete to go win and you've only got 1 dude, not even a full podium.
Yes.
Or extremely weird to just go win a medal because you're the only one who signed up.
Yeah, like I think that because even with the Open, my guy that was in the heavy class, which is 208, he didn't have an opponent. He got gold. And then he was immediately in the Open. And I'm like, that's great and all, but as a participation gold medal again, but at the same time, you're the only one in there. That's earned. But you get in the Open, it's like, dude, that's automatic entry. That doesn't, I never really, like, I respect you more if you went through 2 or 3 more people. Now, that's on me because I didn't make weight. I was supposed to be his opponent. It was going to be first or second regardless. But it's just like that. Haven't seen people win one and they didn't even be in the open and they didn't go through a gauntlet. They're fresher than most people. They have a kind of an advantage. So seeing that and seeing people that was on waitlisted who could have been in his division, it's like, come on, man. At least give a minimum of 3 each and each bracket.
Do you have a goal for competition, like an overall goal? You want to hit worlds and win at your level, or?
Yo, so speaking of goals, I want to do worlds. I was supposed to do worlds this year, but with everything going on with my family and all the stuff with that, I couldn't make it. So I was able to do other stuff instead. I really wasn't going to go back and compete until Worlds, but I ended up competing at that Copa event, ended up competing at the RJJC1 card, and now doing this one. But my ultimate goal is to be a world champion.
Yeah.
And to be a black belt eventually.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything like that. I just know I want to get good at competing, right? There's got to be some sort of meta, right? I don't know if you know what that is. It's a gaming term, at least where I learned it, but most effective tactic available, right?
Yeah.
There has to be something. And for me, that first thing is nerves. I can't help the nerves. So I'm just, first thing I'm doing now, I've missed a few just because of family, life, all that stuff, but I'm just pushing to do more local stuff constantly until I feel really comfortable. I mean, it should feel like the training room, right?
Yeah.
If you catch me in the training room,
I've caught a fade from you a couple times.
but I'm very confident that if you put me in the training room with the same guys I'm competing with, it looks a lot different. I mean, I feel like they're going to have a bad day and question where they're at. And that's where I want people, right? Of course, but I got to get it close to that in the gym space in my head, at least.
I mean, with nerves, the one thing I've learned about competing for like 7 years straight, the thing with nerves for me is since I've been doing it for so long, my nerves really go with my music. So the way I prep is the way my outcome would be. I see the goal as I'm winning first. I'm going to do nothing regardless to win first. My biggest thing when I realized my nerves is the nerves that just be on time. Once I figure out when I'm on time, I'm cool. I settle down. I get that de-stress. And I take and some people think I'm crazy, and y'all can actually talk to my teammates. I take like a 30, 40-minute nap before my match.
I used to do that when I competed a lot. I would meditate and fall asleep right there. And then they'd call my name and I'd be completely relaxed.
I made sure that I had at least one of my guys, hopefully that was with me in the tournament or at that tournament, is like, hey, like, check my thing at a certain time. Like, I'll make sure that I get there to tournaments at least early enough. I used to do, for Grappling Industries, I did, say my match is at 11, and I know at the one time, well, not the one time, before 2022, Grappling Industries was on time for most of their tournaments. Ever since 2022, and the floodgates of COVID had been released, Grappling Industries needs to move to a 2-day format. That's all I'm saying about that. Love the people over there. They just need to move to a 2-day format. That's how packed it's been. But normally I will get there probably an hour and a half early, and then I'll get at least a 30-minute nap, and now I'll be like maybe a light sleep, whatever. And then I wake up, I'll start stretching out and get into that zone. And I normally, now I've realized that was my first part. And now I'll be great with that. And I'll win some tournaments like that. However, when I got to IBJJF, that wasn't the case. And when I got to certain super fights, that was not the case of like taking a nap and then stretching and be good to go. And I've realized at Copa that I needed to do that. Plus I needed a good hard warm-up round, which would be morely like flow rolling. I'll have my teammate, me and him go through certain positions, just flow till I break a sweat.
Just game plan, like your game plan?
Not even game plan. I actually, for Copa, for Copa, the room was just one big room. Normally in the room they have a sheet and split between the room so you don't see the other person. And this is how I learned to mentally see myself, how I'm going to be in the certain positions I want, but I'm warming up someplace else. Hello, love. How you doing?
You do your thing.
Go ahead. You're our third visitor today. Welcome. Love your hair, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You have a nice one. I'm telling you, I'm getting followers left and right.
Does your wife watch this podcast?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
I
love
side note, love my wife. Hold up. I love my wife.
I also love my wife.
I'm not Chris Rock. I don't think I love my wife. I love my wife. But no, my wife knows the certain limits I do. But she always like, if she loves it when I compliment other black women, hairstyle, all that stuff, because it's honestly, it makes their day better. And I'm not even trying to go smack or anything like that, no. Because there's a line, and I know where my line is. If I'm at a strip club, my wife is normally with me at the strip club. It's straight like that. It's straight like that. I'll reserve my questions. So, but with the...
So my question for you then, somebody who's been competing and you're relatively good on nerves, is that a good strategy? Just go and get as many as possible and
yeah. Because I think that I had a great conversation on top. Let me answer that question. Yes. It is, because you need to get as many under your belt as possible, so you can understand game speed versus training speed. That is very different. If you guys don't understand, game speed versus training speed is different. Grips are a little bit different at game speed than training speed. Training speed, you're going to have some days or have some people like a Carlton or like a John or like a Cam that's always going to give you 110% each roll. Yeah. And those guys you're going to lean into more when you're going for a big fight. And you're going to have that. But even at training with those guys, the game speed at certain levels are not the same. The grips are not the same.
I'll tell you what I do. So I tell people now that you need to have that trigger. And the way you can develop that trigger, there's competition class. Some people may not be able to make that right, but is that you have at least one day a week, and you can change it. You know, if your body's hurting or something, you can change it. But you need to have a day where you're telling yourself that this is the day I go into class, and I'm gonna
murder everybody.
I have a system. It's Dirty South, because I grew up with that. I love that shit. UGK, 8-Ball, MJG.
So all the playlist is not Phil's, huh?
Yeah, and I roll up with that, and I'm just in my head like I'm gonna take everybody out today.
Yeah,
it's all ego, and it's okay. I'm not really attached to the result. It's just the fact that when we slap hands, we're going.
Oh, right? No. I think though you're supposed to have those days. You're supposed to have 1 or 2 days a week. I definitely agree with you that you need to be out there more. Yeah. The only reason I'm saying now, I'm more reserved now in what I'm taking now is because normally when I go to the 210 bracket, I'm not finding anybody in purple. And I've learned that as you get higher up, you got to seek the bigger tournaments to get bigger turnout, especially around this area. But I definitely agree with that. But for your nerves now, have you solved that yet? Or are you saying you're still trying to figure that out?
I don't have any nerves. As soon as we slap hands, right, the nerves are gone for me. But I think they're so bad the week going up to it because I'm ready to fight. It's not even being scared. It's just I'm ready to go.
More anxious.
Yeah, I'm at 100, and that I find myself depleted. So 30 seconds in, I'm gassed. Damn. Absolutely gassed. And it's not the cardio. I've been working on it, but it's just that adrenaline is at 100 before that all day, and that's what I think needs to come down.
The adrenaline, the mellowness of what you do in a match, you should be mellow. You should be at attacking point, but you shouldn't. When you get to that level of, I'm trying to explain this perfectly, but in a way that makes sense to everybody. But as for us, it'd be like water. You have to get to that point mentally where when they're anxious, because I still get like that for a week out. I'm like, oh man, I'm ready to rip off heads. What I do really is I use that for runner's high. So I'm for that week leading up. I want to get your opinion on this. That week leading up, I don't do a lot of lifting that week. I do a lot of running that week. Because of the fact that I'm more anxious, I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to be like, I want to go run the rack today and stuff like that. No, I run like 2-3 miles in the morning, in the afternoon, before jiu-jitsu, switching up my style of training because of the fact that I'm like, man, I just want to go. And I have that ability. I
think the technical answer is, right, you have your mesocycles. So you're doing 3 weeks on of overload, right? And the 4th week is a deload week. I think most people, right, most trainers at least, are going to put you on that 3rd or 2nd week as the date of your overload, as the date in which you're going to compete, because you're still coming up. You don't want to be deloading because then you're letting your body relax a little bit too much. And you have certain weeks where you can keep pushing and growing and becoming more powerful or strong or whatever it is. And you need that deload week to just rest and recover and come back to that. So you really want to hit it if you're doing 3 weeks overload, 4th week deload on that 3rd week, into that 3rd week. That's what you want. I don't think, listen, I've only been doing this so long. Everybody's different too, but I think people get a little bit, they're making the event a little bit bigger in their head, just like I'm doing sometimes, by relaxing too much, because you do jiu-jitsu all the time. there's no off cycle, right? Nobody's taking off seasons here.
No.
And you're going hard once or twice every week, all the time, on top of your little injuries.
Yep.
And then when it comes to a competition, you're calming down all week. And then
Yeah.
going hard. Yeah, I get it. A few days before, maybe so. Unless it's a really big event, I don't think that that's necessarily the right thing to do. You know what I mean?
No.
Every Saturday for the past 8 years, I've gone hard as fuck. Okay, so why now I'm making it more special by saying the rest of the week I'm going to chill, right? Every Wednesday night I go hard as fuck. Every Friday at noon, every Saturday at noon. And now I have this random week where it's all chill. It doesn't necessarily make my Saturday better. My sleep does, right? If I get less sleep, that's definitely going to cause me some issues. If I get less carbohydrates or fuel for my actual muscles, then yeah, maybe. But I don't think you need to really relax as much as people think.
Like I wouldn't say relaxing is the point. Like during my training that week while I'm running, I'm having hard training that week.
Yeah.
I just feel personally from my body and the way I run and I operate. Running for me that week is normally partially half of it is really making weight for the tournament, running and making sure I'm eating right and stuff like that. The other half is really just a little less soreness on the body from throwing weights the entire week.
Yeah.
That's just me. And that's my just recommendation to people is like I'll normally run my last week. I'm blessed enough to have my wife who works in IV therapy. Sometimes to get me compression pants.
Nice.
Sometimes I've been in oxygen chambers.
You need that CPAP.
Yeah.
CPAP machine.
Yeah.
I just got on the CPAP game. It's hard as I know, but I'm telling you, I know it's gonna be worth it.
I need to get on that game. I've done IVs. I've learned the hard way with IVs. Don't do IVs the week of the tournament because I'm just getting water back in my system. And I'm going one time. Yeah. Especially I've got very deadly close to almost missing a tournament because I had IV. It was like 2 days before a tournament. I was like, man, my body's really. I was really jacked up one week, and I was like, yeah, I just need an IV. I'll be good to go. Like, it wouldn't be that much water weight on me. I'm on track for my weight. And I woke up. And I was 206. I was on weight. I woke up 210, and I was 2 days out. And you know, the last 2 days is always
fat shame you.
Yeah, I was fat.
Don't be fat.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Like, you shouldn't see me. Actually, I was worse with this IBJJF. Since I went to Ultra, I was at 213, and then I had the IV. I was eating. I was eating, and then by the time I got to competition yesterday, plus with the IV pack I did the day before, since I didn't have to make weight, I was 220. So it was like I was eating. I was comfortable at the 220. I bounced between that, but it's like, for me, that's just comfortability for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody's also different, right? So 2 athletes can get to the top level with 2 completely different systems. I'll tell you this though, I know that they're consistent. I know that they've got some sort of strength and conditioning program going, and that they train a lot.
Some hidden strength and conditioning things going on.
I've got a guy for you.
No, I'm good. I don't need it.
Recommendations.
No, I
heard
live
you
with.
Say you don't squat. It's a shame.
I do not squat.
Come on.
No, hold on. I told him I don't squat regularly. I do the box squat or whatever the box bar one. I'm getting back into it.
The hex bar.
Hex bar one. I like that more. I don't know why. But I just never was a guy. I ran track. I did everything with running, everything like that. My legs and thighs have always been straight, but I just never been a squat guy. And
it's okay. I mean, look. It also, if somebody's a trainer, right, and they're going to give you a program to work off of, they're going to try to keep a lot of the stuff that you do because they want to keep it coming, right? Consistency's king, so they're going to try to keep it around.
Yeah.
I want to get into this real quick.
Go ahead, man. I see you got a list ready for me. We can go. We can rip it for a whole.
I got notes.
Okay, go ahead.
All I want to do is upset people. Okay, that's my goal here.
Okay, we getting spicy now.
I'm half Puerto Rican, and I'm going to say very definitive things. I say I'm half Puerto Rican because I love drama, and people lie about not loving drama.
Puerto Ricans do love drama. I'm being honest. Y'all, all right. What is the list for me, sir?
So I'm putting down. I want to talk to people about how they should really structure their training.
Okay.
Right. And I'm saying that too as somebody who hasn't competed a lot and won a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I want to say what I'm going to do before I do it.
No, I got you. Nah.
Just to be cocky, right? And make it a little bit put a little bit of weight behind it.
So a little bit of Gordon Rodney in you, sir. say in the envelope.
He wishes, no. All hail the king.
All hail the king, yes.
So there's 3 areas, right? Because we're talking about structure of your jiu-jitsu training, right? This can apply to a lot of shit.
And do you apply this to your 6 a.m. class?
My 6 a.m. class, yeah.
Okay.
I think I relax on them a little bit, but yeah, I've started to implement almost all this shit.
You getting some, before you get into it, you getting a good crowd for that. You build it pretty nice. And
Look, man, like I spend a lot of my fucking time studying for it and working stuff out before I teach it, right? Because you know, I try something on you. It may go well. It may go poorly on somebody else. I spend a lot of time on that class because I want to learn how to grow it because I'm going to have my own gym one day. Yes. Right. And I spend a lot of time, if I'm not coaching there, I'm sitting down on the sidelines coaching somebody else as much as possible. Right. Nice. So thank you for the recognition on that. I love those guys. I'm trying to just do right by them because I think some of the other coaches in the past haven't done that. Right. But there's 3 areas, right? It's the environment, the gym itself, where we're going to piss people off, right? Because a lot of gyms suck, and that's a fact. There's what you do in the gym, regardless if your gym sucks or not, because there's people who can't find good gyms, and then there's what you do out of the gym, right? And we started to touch on those pieces. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Go ahead. Right. So it's definitely environment. Environment is definitely a big thing. Environment's a big thing, right? There's a lot there, right? We talk about a systems-based approach to instruction, right? Like you see us. Here's I'm going to just make very definitive claims to hopefully piss people off. Okay. It should be focused on one aspect of your sport at a time. And that goes for everything, right? If there's defined skills that you need to have in something, it could be videography, right? There's a bunch of skills that you can list out and say, I'm going to get good at them at one piece at a time. Yeah. Right? You should focus on one. You shouldn't try to do the whole gambit. I'm not saying let the whole thing slide. If you have questions, learn, but focus on one piece. Because the more we study on this piece, the deeper we get. When we come back around to it, the growth is exponential. And you get a lot of gyms out there that are going, you know, this one thing one day, the next thing this is a takedown the next day, a guard pass the next day, a back recovery the next day. It doesn't make sense. So you're saying be more series-like instead of more individual-like. Yeah. And here's the definitive thing. If your instructor isn't learning from John Danaher, they fucking suck. That's a fact. Nah, bruh. I'm a hater. It is what it is. Look, all hell. Even if those DVDs, not just from John Danaher, but a lot of the good coaches out there, if your coach isn't striving to learn from somebody else, then he's going to fall behind eventually. I think my opinion with that one. No, I'm not even upset about that one. I think that's a very good opinion. He's like, if y'all see this, he's checking them off on his thing. He's like, I got him here, I got him here. Nah, I don't think. All hail the king. First off, that's the king of coaching. Yep. I'm gonna pay respect to the GOAT, the Bill Belichick of fucking jiu-jitsu. I give that respect to him. Yeah. But I also do believe that your coach will evolve with his students. This is true. I think that a coach will always remain young in the game if he allows his students to evolve, and he evolves with them. Yeah. He needs to spend a lot of time. He or she. Because we do have a lot of female black belts in here, and I do know several of them that can whip my ass. So I don't want to say just he. Is he or she. I think students definitely help with that. Yeah, I just think that if you're not taking stuff from somebody who's already got a system approach, you're going to have to grab from your own knowledge, the black belts around you, and other people who are putting out DVDs, and make an own structure yourself, which is just a lot easier when somebody's already there, and you can grab a few more things rather than grabbing this whole gambit, 10 different DVDs and trying to put it all together into one thing, right? Does that make sense to you? No, it does make sense to me. Side note for me, though, I actually do not watch DVDs. I'll send you some. I mean, go ahead, please do. I used to be and you don't need to. You're not the coach, right? No, I'm not the coach. You're not the coach. I'm not the coach, but however, and learn from what they're teaching. However, I do coach my teammates if they do need coaching. Absolutely. In that tournament, in that day, or they need something like that. I'm not a head coach. I do. Or associate coach, whatever it's called, depending on the gyms. Right. Everybody got different opinions, but we'll get into that too. I mean, there's an area. If you think something is best, you should be able to talk to your coach about it. Yes. And ask for something. Yes. And if they respond super negatively,
I think no. I definitely think that you gotta be an adult with this. As a coach, I think you gotta be a leader of men. As a coach,
a lot of egos out there, man. It's easy.
Do you think? Question for you: do you think because of the belt there's an ego, or is just the ego in the person in general?
Man, it's like human nature, right? I mean,
it's primal.
It's like the first law of 48 laws of power is what I think about, right? Never outshine the master. I try to think about that one a lot, right? It's that one, and then always say less than necessary, which we don't do on podcasts, but those two I try to think about a lot. But the reason that's a law, right, is because in whatever you're doing, there's going to be somebody above you, and everyone's got egos. Everyone's got a little bit of insecurity in them, and if you say the wrong thing or you outshine in some way, you can find yourself out on the curb. And that's the truth. And I don't think that'll happen with my coach, right? But I also make sure that we understand where we're at, right?
Yeah, no.
I give praise to my coach. He gives praise to me.
Yeah. No, I think you got to have a great standing with your coach, or at least an understanding. You can, it's levels. You can have an understanding with your coach. You can have a great standing with your coach, and so forth. I think there's really, those two are allowed. I think everything else is like child's play in my more or less, because if you can be a student and understand your coach. I don't think you understand have that connection with your coach until you get more into jiu-jitsu. I think some gyms are heavy upper belt. I definitely believe that, but it's on the upper belts to bring along the younger belts as well.
Yeah. Then there's class structure, right? Because you can look at a gym and what the coach is teaching is one, and there's class structure. Now, this can go broad. I'll tell you what I do in my class.
Please do, because I don't run any type of class. I'm not there yet, so I'm definitely down for this knowledge.
So we'll always try. I think the best thing to do is always, whatever system you're teaching or whatever you're learning, what you should be practicing should always be tied to the current teachings, right? And so what I mean by that is we have situational rolling, right? A lot of it. I almost force my class to start in that position every time. I have days where I take it off, let them have a little bit more fun, but we come in with warm-up rounds, and you're in that position that we've been working on for a month now, right? Just to warm up. And then, once we're done with instruction and we've done all our drilling and we go to roll, for my class, I do 3-minute rounds. I'm getting specific. Now, I mix it up sometimes, but most of the time I do 3-minute rounds because that's worse for cardio, because you have to work situational, and when you get out of that situation, you restart right there, right? And you might swap top and bottom, but you keep going. Then after a few rounds of that, because it's much less time, you get more rounds, right? You get 10 rounds sometimes if you're in my class. Then we start from that same position, but we go until submission.
Gotcha.
Okay. I don't think that it has to be done that way. I just think that for my guys that works, and I think it's a really good way to do it. You're getting more reps in that position with more people in a shorter amount of time. What else could you want? Yeah. Right? Then the other thing is that, like, we have a competition class. I think the competition classes run pretty well. And
do you think, I'm sorry to cut you off, do you think every gym needs a competition class if you have people that compete?
Yeah, I think what a competition class means, though, can be different, right? I think people might have different opinions on that. I don't think necessarily it should be, we're just going balls to the wall. I think it should be that we focus on specific things, right, to the rule set that we're about to go into. Right? Like if it's 80 cc, for example, there's a specific rule set there. Takedowns are very, very difficult. You have to get 3/4 of somebody's back on the ground, and turtling doesn't count as a takedown. That is the kind of thing you should practice. Or hey, you got 30 seconds, you're down on 2 points, you need a takedown now, that kind of stuff. But another thing that we do is we focus a lot on the 2 positions that you're in the most. So it's either, there's 3, right? It's either the position that we're learning in class or have been learning, or you're standing, or you're in open guard. Because that is where 90% of matches take place. Am I wrong?
Standing, yes.
Standing or in open guard.
Open or half guard.
Half guard. Sure.
I would say the reason I'm a half guard.
I kind of leave that to the player to choose, right? Bottom player can pull into half guard. Top player can force a half guard. And that's usually what happens, to be honest.
Yeah, like I definitely think stand-up is so essential. A lot of people do not understand how stand-up is so essential in jiu-jitsu because of the fact that it's not even about judo. It is about judo. It is also about wrestling. And because of the fact that you're guaranteed to start on your feet, guaranteed, you need to figure out a way and the amount of time that you have. I have 7 minutes. How long are your matches?
8 minutes. I
think. 8 minutes. You have
depends on the
full rule set and so on and so forth. You have that amount of time to figure out how to get in the positions that you need to be in. And takedown's only 2. So you got to figure out how to do that. Or you got to figure out how you can pull him into a position, pull guard, in a sense. I'm not saying I'm supportive of guard pullers, but you got to pull him in a sense to be a guard puller and get in the positions that you need to be in. So stand up, I definitely agree with you with that.
So as a larger point, right, you should be forcing yourself into the situations that you're going to see most often, right? It's that 80-20 rule. Right? Absolutely. So the next thing, this is where drama happens too, is social alignment. Like people, there's a lot of culty gyms out there. There's a lot of signs, right? I think I sent you one of our friend Matt's posts.
Yeah, the McDojo. Yeah.
McDojo has a lot of stuff too. But, you know, I think if the most experienced people are healthy, they should be rolling. I don't think that it should be a big issue for you to ask upper belts to roll at all. What are you guarding, right? A lot of places have that.
I've never understood that rule.
It's an ego thing.
I've never understood. I've always been, excuse me.
Anybody can ask me to roll.
Yeah.
Anybody can ask my coach to roll.
I've had younger belts from different schools. I'm not going to name the schools, but they were like, hey, nah, man. I have the fucking capability, but this jiu-jitsu thing can be mob-like sometimes. But nah, so my thing is, yes, there's definitely some gyms like that. I have had a lot of white, well, it'd be mostly the white belts from different schools, and they'd be like, hey, sir, do you mind if I roll with you? I don't get a chance to roll with. And it'd be mostly at open mats. And I'll look at them crazy like, what do you mean you can't roll with?
Stop calling me sir.
And stop calling me sir. And that too, I'm like, whenever I hear sir from a white belt, I'm like, my name is Will. Don't call me sir. You call me sir, you're going to get a bow and arrow. like
I'm a child. What are you saying?
Like, why am I sir? Like, my dad's a sir. Like, I'm not a sir.
Yeah,
I'm nowhere near that. But no, I definitely agree that that mentality, I seen it less now, but I remember when I first got in, that was a very big thing.
I was just talking to Matt a few minutes ago, and I said one of the best things our instructor has done is just been a net and been patient, right? Just keep a healthy, sort of drama-free environment, right? Anytime you get a bunch of humans, there's going to be a little bit of drama.
Yeah, clicky, yeah.
Right. It's a net because all these gyms are dropping off because of their culty leaders who are trying to get too controlling, get too insecure, who start trying to tell people what to do. And when they leave, eventually, they're going to keep leaving and come to you, right? So if you're in an area, we're in Northern Virginia, right? There's only like 3 gyms that I'd actually go to.
I have about
only like
4 or 5. No, I have a lot. I have a lot.
I've been to all of them. How many do I actually want to keep going back to?
That's right.
That's where it is. There's a lot of culty behavior. It's a people thing, man. But like there's big signs. Letting you fucking go train at other places is a big one. Not trying to control you in any way. If you see a coach saying you absolutely can't do this thing, whether it's a tournament and there's not a real reason of like injury or anything like that, then it doesn't make sense. You need to let people do exactly what they want to do. At the end of the day, even if they're competitors, they're paying for a service. Yeah. And some people get a service confused with a church, and it's not a church.
And don't get me started on the church. But no, in terms of cross-training, I think cross-training is beneficial in today's age of jiu-jitsu because of the fact that you face someone different than your normal counterparts that you face all the time. I named some of your training partners at your gym. Those are my favorites to go to, plus a couple more. The reason being because I'm seeing something different. I'm seeing something different each time. The reason as a student of the game, I need to understand what I'll be seeing from every aspect of the game. Sometimes when schools are mostly a dominant certain position school, which is nothing wrong with that, you need to figure out, it's like Kung Fu. You got to figure out what the Tai Chi down the street is. You got to figure out how to go against other people and staying within that realm. The downside of cross-training, I would say, and we can comment on this too, sometimes, like in terms of super fights, it actually has cost me 2 fights.
How so?
Because of the fact that the person I wrote that I'm probably gonna get paired with, or I have been paired with. I've trained with them. I cross train with them all the time.
Yeah.
For example,
I know John.
Me and John were supposed. So the funny story, me and him were supposed to have a fight. I think it was some type of fight. I've seen him around a couple times. We actually followed each other on Instagram. Then never really crossed paths until I came in off of Matt's recommendation to come up on a Saturday open mat, which I love. I always love Saturday open mats, regardless, Silverback, high noon, whatever. Saturday open mats, because you're going to be, most of your game days are going to be, or I call them game days, your match days, or however you freaking call it, is going to be on a Saturday. Why do you want to take off on a Saturday when you're going to most likely be working on a Saturday to get your bread, to get the power meat? You don't do that.
If you're not at Saturday open mat, we can't be boys.
We can't be boys.
No.
We can't be boys. Hell, I even do Saturday, Sunday open mat. Like, you can't be boys. You always got to be working on the weekends. So me and John, the funny story. So me and John, we were supposed to match up somehow. That never pulled through. I forget the reason why. I think he knows more than I do. I remember I came into the gym. I remember me and him, he was like, yo, man, you want to go? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I remember we went super hard. I wasn't expecting it. I was out of shape, and we went super hard. I remember he was like, yo, man, I'm sorry. He was like, and then afterwards, he's like, yo, man, I'm sorry. Like, we were supposed to have that match, and my professor was watching. I was like, yeah, cool, man, no worries. Like, cause I match energy with energy. You're going to come at me full throat. I'm not going to just lay there and take it. Like, so me and him, but ever since we had that collision path, me and him been boys. Fast forward to Copa, the matchmaker at Copa hit me up, and he was like, yo, man, I have a match up. I was supposed to be, each super fight I had, side note, each super match I was supposed to have, I was supposed to be matched up with somebody. This one, I was supposed to be actual, what's it called, emceeing. I was supposed to be emceeing for Copa for a little bit, and announce some of the fights. And he was like, yo, man, instead of emceeing, you want a super fight. And I already got off the horn with John saying that his man just pulled out because he got injured. And he was like, yeah, I got a purple belt for you, about 210, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what's his name? John Canning. I'm like, sorry, bro. By that point, go. You're fine. You're fine. You're the fourth one today.
Do it. Say it.
Nah. Reason being, that's a front desk person. I ain't gonna do that. But me and him, our relationship has grown since I've been coming over that at Silverback. And the reason me and him always go hard. If you got some, I was actually prepping him for that Copa Elite fight. I was gonna be around the same weight. Me and him were doing stand up. I was giving him game. He was giving me game. And then when it came time, me and him had a side note talk. I was like, look, if they gave us some money, I was like, we can do a side pot and we can split cash. I'd be cool with that. But if we doing this for free, I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I ain't gonna worry. But if they gave us like 10 G's, I'm like, you want to do 70-30 split? I'd be cool with, like, whoever, like, you gave me the opportunity.
I like talking mad shit on my own boys. So if anybody had a super fight with me, I'm absolutely going.
It's so funny because I was telling, I didn't know the structure of IBJJF because I thought IBJJF Open would be for all purple belts, regardless of age. However, since John's Master 1, it would be Open Master 1. I'm always telling him in the gym, every time I saw him, I was like, yo, man, I see you in the Open. And he's looking at me like, what the fuck? Like, because I'm an adult still, because I'm 29. So it was like, I thought.
John's old as shit.
Yeah, I didn't. See, black don't crack.
AARP, motherfucker.
But no, like, so I had that. And then at RJCC1, me and this guy, Brian Phillips, he's a guy over at gym in Annapolis. He cross-trains at Dominion all the time. I roll with him all the time. Not as frequent as, like, John, but I roll with him from time to time. And me and him, we have a mutual understanding. We're like, nah, we ain't going to do it. If it was for some, like I said, if it was cash, I'll split the pot. Because at that point, we're boys, and we're going to just make the bread together. Ain't no worry about that. We have one match. That's no problem. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm not particularly keen on thrashing my boys at super fights because I'm gonna eat them. And don't worry, I'm gonna eat them. So it don't matter to me. But I'm not particularly keen on doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's different if you meet at the end of a bracket. That's kind of sick. You know? Like I've done that before, and like that I didn't care. I would like to say like, oh yeah, we're gonna get after it, but to me, it was just like we roll in the gym every day. I don't care about the result of this.
At the end of the bracket, oh yeah, it's gonna be full smoke. I expect full smoke because I wanted that opportunity that long to do it. Like say when I eventually move up to Masters, and hopefully John don't move away to Masters too. I want that smoke eventually, but me and him are never probably going to get to that point. No, John, I know you watching. He gonna eventually watch. You gonna get this clip out.
I'm gonna send John this clip.
Yeah, I know you gonna send John this clip.
Smoke.
Nah, man, he already know the smoke free.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's a fact too that like if you're trying to pick a gym, right, you need to be losing like constantly. If you're not the world champ, even if you are, you should be putting yourself in bad places.
Yes,
but there should be a deep room. There in a gym. If not, you need to go somewhere else.
You need to learn. You need to learn how to take a loss as well, and you need to understand how a loss should be taken.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that when you have sore losers on the mat, no one's gonna cry for you that you lost. All you gotta do when you lose, you should figure out immediately why you lost. Was it your prep? Was it the way you executed position? What was it? Because to me, the way I lost in absolute, it's keeping me up at night right now. As a date,
was he bigger than you?
No,
that's just an easy ego excuse.
No.
Do you suck?
No, I don't suck.
Send me the tape, I'll tell you.
No, that match, yes, I did suck. That match, I'm gonna be honest. That match, I sucked. That match, my headspace was not right. This is not bitch assness. This is just be straight facts. I got my ass beat.
Bitch assness.
Bitch assness.
As an adjective is fantastic.
Bitch assness. Yeah, bitch assness in the black community is an adjective in the black community. My headspace wasn't right. The guy was definitely smaller than me. I thought my game plan was not correct. I thought I can go one way, did not go that way. And I wouldn't say nothing was wrong with my cardio. There was nothing wrong with my stand-up. I allowed him to do too much, and that was that.
You got to be concerned, though, with you can't be so, you can be tied to results. You should be. You should not be, right? Content but never satisfied, right? But you should be concerned with your trajectory, right? And that's what people should pay attention to, is the system they have in place to get better.
Yes.
Because over time, that's what's going to matter, is that consistency and all that tied into.
Yep.
Are we good on time?
No, we're good on time. So we actually go for an hour.
Okay.
We got 15. However, we getting deep into this. We might go extra 15. Is that extra 15? We good.
All right. Next thing is it's yourself, right? What can you do? Even if you have a gym that sucks, you're in an area that only has limited gyms. It's not a deep training room. What are you going to do, right? So you have to, just like we said, put yourself in tough spots. I went through that for about 3 months. We were working on escapes, and every single role I had, I'm putting you in a better spot than me. I'm asking, do you want to start on my back? Do you want a body triangle while you're on my back? Do you want side? And it fucking hurt because people were squeezing the fuck out of me. So I was dealing with a lot of injuries. But I'll tell you this, I'm confident in my escapes. If you get to my side control, I'm getting out. You ain't holding me for a minute. I'm going to get out, right? And now coach is watching this. He's like, we'll see about that. So fuck you up.
Yo, the one thing I love about you, coach, man, he's a very fun-loving guy. But when he rolls with y'all, especially...
Listen, I love him, but he's an asshole, okay? He's an asshole. Fuck you, Sean, all right? I love you, but fuck you. Jesus Christ.
Yo, the way he rolls with y'all, I love it because it's like, I've seen people go hard all day, and he's having a great day, and he's just sitting there. And then
I used to talk shit. While he was rolling with John Candy, I used to be like, yo, Sean, did you sign up for auto insurance? Did you forget? Like, just... whatever, because he's not paying attention. My goal as a pro ball when I was in there was just to get him to look at me. If I could get him to focus on me for the whole 5 minutes, which like barely ever happened, I felt like it was a successful role. Maybe I'm doing the right things if he's looking, right? But yeah, it's just levels.
It's levels.
I don't know, man. I'll start feeling good, and then 3 months later, he'll just come out and be like, I think Troy needs it. He doesn't say anything. He just hammer. And the same thing. It's Phil. It's a lot of the black belts there. There's just levels.
Phil's a beast. All y'all, all the upper belts over there. Phil's a beast. Sean's a beast. They whip my ass all the time. Everybody. I feel so bad. I don't know all your black belts' names, but I see them from all the time.
Yeah, we just lost Chris Fitz. He fucking moved down to Richmond, and he was a motherfucker. Fitz, tall, light-skinned dude. He was like 6'4", 6'5".
Oh, I've seen him. I've seen him a couple times. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, and then we got Nick First. Epic role. So Matt, we got John Kim, and we got Maggie. Save the best for last.
Yeah, Maggie dope. But yeah, continue with your thing, man. Cause we got to run through these.
So that also means you're putting yourself in the system that you're learning, right? That's a big thing. Always focusing on what you're learning. So if you're learning escapes, put yourself in that area all the time. Pursue feedback. That means you need to go to your coaches. Your coach should be pushing you too. They should be telling you, I'm seeing this thing. It's wrong. You need to fix it. And they need to keep pushing you. But at the end of the day, right, I can't always fix everybody's problems. So they need to come to me and ask me what they're seeing. And as a coach, if I say, I haven't been paying enough attention to you. Let me watch you, and then I'll give you that feedback, right? Or we can roll and we'll see what constant mistakes you're making, what are consistent or what are big holes that you have, right? And then the other thing is, especially as an upper belt, but you have to work techniques up. You're a purple belt, so likely that means that you can grab a decent white belt and try something completely new on him and get it every time, most of the time.
Most of the time.
Not super strong or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to work that shit up. You take stuff to your level and a little bit beyond, it's yours now, right? That means as a brown belt, if I can start with a blue belt or a purple belt sometimes, and I hit something on him, I go, okay, we're working this. I work it until I get a bigger guy, a more technical guy, then I hit the brown belts. And if I start catching the brown belts, then I try it. That's when I go for it on Sean or one of the coaches.
Gotcha.
And it is what it is. At that point, I've sharpened it enough, right?
Yes.
Like a long time when we were working, I was just working arm bars. My whole goal was to arm bar Carlton because he's a big ass dude.
Biceps are fucking.
It took me fucking 6 months, but the first time I got it, I said, I'm done. That's it. I'm good.
I worked 6 months. I've accomplished my goal.
And another thing was I was telling him, like, I'm going to fucking armbar you. I'm going to get you in this eventually. And he's like, we'll see about that. Whenever it happened the first time, I'm done. I'm done with arm bars forever. Not forever, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you got to walk stuff up in your ability.
Facts.
And then there's outside of the gym. There's a lot. I feel like I want to upset people and just say shit like, don't do deadlifts because Robert Oberst said not to. And
or the legs or the squats.
You need to do compound movements, though.
Yeah.
You do. You need that. Whether it's heavy weights or you're just getting repetitions, there's a difference there. But our sport is so amateur that there's no one program that's sticking out. Now, eventually that might be the case. I'd start to say that the more high rep is starting to stick out because here's another thing. Not every athlete is putting their program out there. But the ones that are, I can see Dante Leon does a lot of powerlifting, right? Good. But the top guys, in my opinion, who I want to see go, Nicky Rod and Gordon Ryan, are both doing bodybuilding type workouts. High reps. And they're working on that endurance because this is a sport where cardio is probably king.
Cardio, endurance is king in the sport.
Yeah, you need strength, but and then there's also this thing, right? Look, if I can bench press 500 pounds, right? And you can only bench press 350, and we put 225 on the bar, who's going to put out more reps? Me, right? So strength matters, right? You need strength to save yourself.
Number 5.
Go ahead, Will.
Welcome to the show. Enjoy the bathroom, and you're on camera. I'm so sorry.
Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be shy. Don't be shy whatsoever.
But
I need a sign, y'all. I'm officially going to buy a sign somewhere. I'm probably just going to get like a print copy paper podcast showing both of these and just have people go around.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
I think it's kind of funny.
Sometimes, like when you have a good thought, like when you're in your process, I'm starting to hear the click. I'm like, another one.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But you need a strength, some sort of program.
Yeah.
You need to be working out on the outside just to keep yourself healthy, right?
Yes.
I just went through that for a while. I was piling up injuries, man. I fucking was having sciatica in my leg. Knee was busted up. Shoulder was busted up. I'm just hurting everywhere. Neck's busted up. I had a pinched nerve over here. Arm's starting to go numb all the time. I said, fuck it. And I got with my boy Asim, a Nova barbell, right? And I said, give me the sauce, man. Fix whatever deal we got to work out here. Just fix me. Make me feel better. And I'm telling you, now I'm going to open mats, and it's a different me. Like, I stopped wrestling completely because my neck was hurting so bad. Now, neck is okay. I'm fucking shooting on people. I'm actually shooting wrestling shots, whereas for like months I was just sitting on my ass.
So you have a wrestler background?
No. I just think I'm a decent wrestler because of the people I've been with. I've always had wrestlers in my classes. Yeah. And I've always been learning. My footwork's been okay. But wrestling is a confidence thing, man. It's a confidence thing. You get some sort of kazushi, some sort of off balance, right? And you have to have the confidence to take that shot and follow.
Have a nice one.
That's it. Wrestling is a lot of confidence, right? It's a lot of that mental, like, I'm going to tire this guy out, blah, blah, blah. But you have to have the confidence to take a shot, and a lot of people kind of fail in that.
Yeah, right? It's a mentality,
yeah. And when my confidence is shot because I know my neck hurts so fucking much, I'm not going to take that shot when it's available. But just being confident doesn't get you everywhere. You have to have technique. You need to know when to shoot. You need to know you need to have good setups.
You need to have a good sense. I think with jiu-jitsu, you have the good sense of where. where you are in the fight and how you're supposed to move in that moment. You have to have that good.
Look, it's like 90% hand fighting, and if you suck at hand fighting, you ain't gonna get anywhere in your shots.
Yep.
Okay. Then it's knowing how to technically take a shot. But once you know how to take 2 shots, you can chain them together really easily. It's not that hard to find a wrestling coach that'll help you out.
Yeah.
But it's hand fighting, and it's that confidence and follow through.
Yep.
Of when I take a shot, I'm putting you down, right? I'm coming up and I'm putting you down. Not a lot of people have that. It takes a while, though.
It does take a while. I think with wrestling itself, it's just the ankles and the footwork with that. Judo, I'm more of a judo-based guy in terms of that kind of stuff. For judo, for me, it's always the hip movement of that opponent and your grips, and more or less. But wrestling-wise, like, I'm not as good as a shooter on taking shots, but you have to be prepared for it. So you have to have a good wrestling defense.
Yeah. You always start with the defense, man. You're going to be confident to take shots when it needs to occur if you're confident in your defense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of shit that you can do, right? People need to pay attention to their sleep. They need to not have caffeine before bed, like up to 8 hours, right? Low inflammation diets are great. But at the end of the day, you know, having a short routine from bed, there's tons of stuff. But the thing is that there's going to be people who do that and are successful. There's going to be people who don't and are, okay? And there's going to be a bunch of people who aren't either way. Yeah. Right? So if you're interested in that, you should be paying attention to it and researching yourself. All of this shit is an education process. Yeah. Right? It's going to take time to get there.
It's a 12-year class.
Yeah, and you should reach out to professionals. If you have a personal trainer or a program you want to buy, you need to know that it's an education process. And the number one thing I think people can do if you have a good gym and they're consistent is having a consistent class time. If you can only show up to 7:30, show up to all of them if you can, right? Don't switch between 6 a.m. and 7:30 and this and that. Stick with one if it's systems based. If it's not, find a new gym.
Yes and no, because my schedule is different in terms of how I train. I train about 5-6 days a week.
It would still be best for you to stick to one class if their systems based approach. And yeah, if you want to, if you're hitting 7:30 classes at night and you want to hit a 6 a.m., that's a good addition. That's great. But if you can only make 5, it's best to stick with that same class and have a measuring tool of how you're doing. Yeah.
Like I have my 2 main classes is on my Mondays and Wednesdays. My Friday, Saturday, and Sundays are primarily open mats because Friday night and Sunday morning are open mats. Saturdays are open mat as well, depending on what gym I go to. My Tuesday, Thursdays are my optional days where there are instructionals on Tuesday, Thursdays if I can make it in the afternoon. But I choose to go to open mat at one of our affiliates up the street, like 10 minutes away, just so I can spend some time outside doing other stuff. But with their stuff like that, their open mat, I practice what I've learned on that Monday night. That's fresh in my brain, so I can, when I start working, because most of that open mat I go to on Tuesday, Thursdays is mostly white and blue belts. Like you said, you start learning technique, you start using on white, blue belts, start gradually going to like the purples and browns. So I use my Tuesdays and Thursdays when I learn new technique or learn when I perfect something. My Tuesday, Thursdays are for that purpose. Yeah. So I think that, yes, you should go to that same class time. Your body gets used to that class time. But I also use the time where I can't make those. I make it for educational purposes. So that's how I kind of wrap that all into one. But outside of like doing stuff outside jiu-jitsu, do you think that, well, I know you don't think, what has been the best diet for you in terms of your diet? Like what?
Probably right now, what I'm doing right now, I'm doing like bodybuilder's diet because I'm cutting weight. So this could be boring as fuck, but it's like protein oatmeal in the morning, right, and some Greek yogurt. Yeah. And then I literally just eat chicken, like 8 ounces of chicken until I get to close to 200 grams.
Yeah, that's me.
And that's it.
That's me.
And then when I get home, we have usually like salmon. I've been hitting ground bison. I fucking love bison.
Dude, it's amazing. Bison's and amazing.
A little bit of broccoli or Brussels sprouts. That's all I eat.
Yeah, that's all I eat. Bison's amazing. Bison is one of the best meats you can get out there. Very lean meat. Definitely, I love bison burgers. I haven't tried. I don't think they even made it yet, or even tried that. They've done like a bison steak.
They do bison steaks and bison burgers.
Yeah, I know bison, but the bison patties. I need to try a bison steak. Yeah, I need to see how that tastes.
Big ass cuts.
Oh man.
The thing is like everybody's gonna have different shit, man. Everybody's gonna have different shit, but you shouldn't have if you want to last long in this shit, you should get rid of inflammation, get rid of sugar and all that shit. Eat some fruit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And people just, I wish you could just play that clip of CT Fletcher. That like, you ain't eating for the fucking taste, you eating for the results, motherfucker. I love that shit.
Yeah, man. What do you do for your recovery? I explained mine a little bit.
Honestly, so I'll give all the praise to Seem at Nova Barbell. That's my boy. He's one of my best friends. Probably be the best man at my wedding.
Nice.
Right? But I just talked to him. I was just like, yo, fix my shit. I got all these issues going on. He looked at me, gave me a program. It's just a strength and conditioning program that's addressing my needs, right? You know,
so you don't have that many aches and pains like that no more in terms of your like.
I'm getting away from it. I'm really getting away from it. All my shit, it took like 3 weeks. I mean, I'm young. It took like 3 weeks though. And I had, LCL pain, back pain, neck pain, and my shit's slowly going away. But it was a lot of abs and core, and it was slowly working from the ground up, right? Working on ankles, tibs, calf, all the way up to make sure that there's structure there and things are pulling the right way. You always get, so there's a lot of systems in your body that are supposed to fire a certain way, and a good coach who's been doing it for a long time can tell you from looking and feeling like you're not firing in this appropriate section, right? You're not firing in this right way. Like you're supposed to fire your glute, your hamstring, and then the opposite side of your lower back, right? Once again, education process. If that's not firing the right way, we need to warm up and make sure that your glutes are firing properly before we start moving to other things.
Word.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I get like so you really haven't like done anything like compressions or anything because you since your lifting has been great and the way your body's been building from that, you haven't done anything like recovery wise like that.
I'm gonna be blunt. Look at Carlton, right? Our boy Carlton is strong as fuck, barely gets injured. There's a reason for that. Most people are either too weak in certain areas or they're just strong, they're just imbalanced, right? So they're either too weak overall and they're sitting down all day, then they go and squat in the gym and they sit in an open guard and they're just compressed in a bad way, or their shit's firing improperly. And a good coach will be able to distinguish that and put together programs that'll set you up. So real advice is go link up with Nova Barbell for one. Or two, find a coach that's near you that you trust that's been doing it for a long time and has a record of healing injuries and stick with it. I mean, it's your vehicle, man. You got to take care of it.
Yeah.
Why, you got injuries?
Nah, I wouldn't even say it like that. It's more the line. Nah, for me, my lifting, I've been trying to do different stuff with my lifting. For the last 3-4, I would say, what was Copa Jones? The Copa was April. Since April till now, April, May, June, I've just been doing something different. And my recovery has just been different because I'm accessible to other things. But nah, in terms of injury, it's never been really injury from lifting. It's just injury from jiu-jitsu.
Fucking jiu-jitsu, man.
From
It's terrible for you.
Jiu-jitsu, like I'm already having the old man crumbling fingers after a roll kind of thing.
So I use gi grips. I stopped that shit like
y'all
too.
You do no-gi?
I do a lot of no-gi, but even in gi, I try to stay away from hardcore gi grips. Like I don't play a lapel-based game unless it's really good. If you start pulling on a grip, I let it go to something else. Yeah, it ain't worth it.
Nah, I'm a lapel guy.
It ain't worth it.
Especially if you go 4 or 5 rounds a day, hard rounds like that, it's fucking crazy. But nah, it's just like, I always had back issues. I've always had, not like a bad back, but it's always been more tense than usual. But it's been better now from what I've been switching up to now. But it's just been like that. But that could be going from many things. But I've been mostly injury-free in my jiu-jitsu life. Besides my white belt year when I separated my shoulder, I've been never really hard injuries. Maybe a strain here and there, but never like nothing that's going to be like, it's been lingering for like a while, like none like that.
Yeah, I was good up until about a year ago, and then it all piled on. Like,
didn't you get your brown a year ago?
Yeah, something like that. Brown, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Broken toe, partial tore LCL, bulge coming back on the disc, partially tore my AC joint, my shoulder. It just piles up. I broke my thumb 2-3 months ago.
So how did your wife take care of that, or your fiance, all that stuff?
She just I don't know. I just come in with a new knee brace, and she's like, "What did you do?" And I don't worry about it.
But like,
I'm good.
Like
but then I'll go to get up and whine like an old man, and she's like, she's just stressed out. She don't want you, they don't want you to get hurt too bad.
Nah, man. Like my wife, she basically, is this gonna be the last one for the day?
No, maybe.
Hold up.
Help her out.
Nah, I'm not gonna help her out.
Gentleman.
Nah, man. If I get up right now,
that's savage. I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
What's the most egregious piece of drama you've seen from a gym around? You don't need to speak on your own gym. Gyms around there, people around you. I know you want to. I know.
I was about to get to my question real quick, my alley-oop question, but I'll let you. I let that one slide. You can get another one after that. Honestly, I've seen some shit.
Speak.
I've seen some shit.
See, the thing is, people need to fucking know because shit's not okay, and people will not speak on it because out of loyalty, and that's not all right.
I think
I'm gonna let these ladies in.
Go ahead, be a gentleman.
You got it.
There you go. Our cameraman doing the job. He's doing the job, and his phone charger came out the pocket.
Yeah. What is it? Speak.
For the final guest appearance on the show. Y'all gonna hear the swirl one more time, guys. Just one more time. Taking the shit downtown. But most egregious thing I've seen, you gotta make me think deep about this one.
Just don't say names.
I've seen someone start their whole school and took someone else's students.
Well, was the original school being very culty?
No.
No?
No.
I think I know what you're speaking of. That one's rough.
Nah, it's not. Nah, it's
in
not
this area?
In this area, yes.
Yeah, I remember one.
There's one from what I've heard from what goes down the grapevine. Okay, it all goes down the grapevine. One guy, and it's not even a situation where I know what you're thinking about, but one guy really, he took some students, wanted to start his own school. And I think that was a little cold. Because of the way he went about it.
What did he do? Started messaging everybody?
I would say,
give me a fucking name. I can't wait because I'm gonna do a series which I just started where I'm interviewing people, but it is about people's toxic relationships with their gyms and why they left and all that stuff.
My thing is, I would say the name, but I don't have a relation with this guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
But because
Saturday open mat 12 at Silverback. You can show up.
Here's the thing with my thing, man. My thing is that I could put this guy on blast because it's really cold what he did. It's really fucking cold.
Speak.
But I don't have clearance yet.
Clarence, you're a grown ass man.
Here's the thing, bro, it's the same shit, different toilet, pun intended.
But that is why I'm not trying to just say
you're not putting me in the box.
Everybody, I'll be the first one to speak on this shit, but this is why this shit continues.
Not really.
If you're a piece of shit, you should lose your fucking gym.
He had a dream. I think he went about his dream the wrong way. That's the best way I can describe it. He went about his dream the wrong way because the person that gave him the opportunity was willing to help, and
he tried to take people instead.
And he did it the shark way, for what I understood.
Yeah, but how do you steal students from a gym that is taking care of their students and treating them right?
That part I don't understand. I know of the story that happened, but I don't know how he was like, oh, I'm going to take these people and go.
I'll tell you why I left my original gym. The first gym I came to, I was there for about 2 years. And the instructor was just an asshole. He was late all the time. It was his second business. He was a successful man in his first career. His second career, he didn't give a fuck about. And, even though he would give speeches and like pump us up, and I think he was there for us, he wanted the best for us. He wasn't going about it the right way. And at one event, he lost a bunch of students because over about a month or two, he was fucking injuring everybody. And I remember one day he like DDT'd my ass on the fucking mats. I shot him for a double leg and he started sprawling and jumped to pull guard. And so all he did was slam my head into the mats. And I was like 140 pounds.
And you about 185?
I was like right now 190. 190. I've been cutting down, but yeah, 190. I was 16. I was like a kid. Like I was a child.
DDT.
Fucking cold steel stunner my ass. And I had concussions before I knew I had one, but that was it. After watching him injure a bunch of people out of anger, because as soon as you start doing well on him, he'd pick it up in intensity. If you do better on me as a blue belt, I'm going to pick it up technically first. You'd have to be very, very physical to just beat me outright in physicality, right? I pick it up technically first, and if you keep going hard or you're very talented, then I might bring attributes into it. This guy, first thing he would do is just be rough as fuck. He would shave his head. 2 days later, his head was so sharp, he'd be rubbing it into your face. He would cut people sometimes.
Oh, hell.
He was an absolute dickhead. Nah. And it was in the guise of like, oh, we got to make you tough. But the thing is do you have to be tough every single day for how many years does that go, right?
It's only so long you have a flame.
At what point do you know that someone has that trigger and they can really fight before you slow it down and it becomes less often, right? If you're a kickboxer and you're teaching kickboxing and every day you beat the fuck out of each other, you're never going to make it to the ring.
Nah, never.
Not long term.
Nah.
That was it. And so I just ended up leaving. He tried to push that, like, there was some contract and money stuff, and I was just like, listen, man, you fucking hurt everybody there. I was like, give me a cut, like, figure it out. If you want 6-month payment or something, he wouldn't accept it. He wanted me to stay there for 9 more months till the contract was up. But when I called that company, they were like, we don't do 12-month contracts. We only do 1 month. And I was like, okay, fucking cut it. I'm done paying for him. And he, you know, after a few years, we still know everybody. I talked to him a little bit. I don't think that was the right thing for me to do necessarily. Should have figured it out. But still, it was about the money for him. And it's because he's running a shitty gym and he barely should. He's late all the time. He's got other people instructing who barely do jiu-jitsu. You know, now he runs a tournament and the tournament does well. I hope him well, but as a coach, fuck no. And he barely has students now. All the students come to us eventually. Yeah. Second gym I went to, I joined the military, and when I came back, I just felt like it wasn't right. I was a blue belt, and I'm beating purple belts. I was doing great, right? And I had just come to them, and they were basically like, you need like 4 years for your purple belt no matter what. I'm like, so even if I do amazing, you're not going to give it to me. No, they had a little scorecard that you would come in and check yourself off and put it back, and I would miss it every day. I was fucking ADD as shit, like 18 years old. I forget every day. And I'd come for an entire week, go look at that, and be like, technically, I missed every single day.
Nah, I never like a scorecard like a fucking 5-year-old.
Yeah. You know what Sean did? A few months after training there, he gave me 3 stripes. So I need to catch up where you're at. 1, 2, 3. Bam. This is where I think you're at, and we'll keep going from there. That's how a coach should be.
Gotcha. So how long, Sean, before, because we're going to do the alley-oop because we're going to skip out the pod decks. How long Sean's been, Silverback has been existing since when?
I want to say 12 years now. I think 2010.
I saw garage pictures since me and him been Facebook friends.
I think he started it.
He started it. Yeah.
We did the 10-year anniversary before COVID, before the before times.
Yeah, before the dark ages.
So I want to say 12 or 13 years. Fuck yeah.
Damn, man. Congrats to him. Congrats to all of that. So you've been with him since after that second gym?
Yeah, I've been with him for about, I want to say 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, because I think
4 or 5 years.
The gym y'all now, y'all just got that prior to COVID, almost, right? Because y'all just moved there. I'm sorry, I'm catching up on that.
No, they've had it since before I was there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they were in that space for a while before I was there.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Don't mean no disrespect. I was just like, I was like, I don't know the history of that.
Give me a little bit. 3 minutes.
Yeah, you got 3 minutes.
Give me a little bit of drama.
Snitches get stitches from where I'm from, not from jiu-jitsu, from where I'm from. But nah, man. What I'm gonna do is this.
Dumbass coaches lose their gym.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I have not seen that personally. I've seen people switch, but I have not seen that personally.
It's coming.
It possibly, For some of the schools in this area, I think it's mainly driven by like about 3 or 4 schools. I think everyone filters eventually to those 4 schools. It could be a different 4. I've since been in the game for about 7 years. I've seen some main staples. So but I see some staples fall apart because of poor coaching and so forth. So I mean, like, I can't really not say that I'm not comfortable speaking on it, but I know certain things that I don't want to say not like a problem, but I just know that certain things in this area, a lot of people get egos, like you said, and I don't just have time to deal with egos from other people, because I think they need to understand if you're getting mad about something about somebody else is saying, and you're coming at them with not just you don't know the full story, but you're not giving me a reason to deter me from thinking like that. Maybe you need to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
That's just me. But the last question was a question that you had to ask me, but you've been asking very fucking great questions. It's called the alley-oop. You give me one question, but even though you kind of scored on that last alley-oop question you gave me, got one question you can give me before you go, man.
Do you eat ass? Do you eat ass?
Do I eat gas?
Eat ass.
Eat ass. What the fuck?
Just left turn.
Yo, completely left turn.
He's avoiding the question.
No, I don't. I don't eat ass, sir.
You said that was the last question. You might
Dog, what the fuck? You gonna leave me with that? All right, you gonna give me another one? Cause that was some shitty Scottie Pippen
About
shit.
what's the subject?
Anything, bro.
Oh fuck, I got you.
Yeah,
We're gonna go politics. You ready?
Fuck yeah. I'm for it.
Just give me the Roe v. Wade. What is it? Was I fucked up? Is
nah.
it the right decision?
I was actually gonna rant about
Because
this.
the statement from a lot of people is that the state should be making the law, right? Right. Was basically what the Supreme Court is saying. It's not a constitutional right. Yeah. How do you feel?
My thing actually
How does that make you feel about the country? How about that?
With the abortion
decision, the decision to stop Roe v. Wade. How does it make you feel about our country?
You know, I was actually going to rant about this next Tuesday on the Comedy Shooters Bar. Please check that out. Have a full rant because I was working on a joke about abortion. It was actually I was working on a joke about abortion because I got inspired by Dogma. You ever watch that movie? Oh my! It's on YouTube, and the reason why it's on YouTube is because of Harvey Weinstein. But that's another story. But it's funny talking about abortion and having Harvey Weinstein in the same sentence.
Eating
Anyway,
ass and abortion in like a 2-minute period.
I know, man. This is a fucking amazing last 2 minutes. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot ass. I'm telling you that right now. But as for the abortion, I think that as America, I think that I have, as a man, I have no reason to worry. Like, for me, why should I care about what the woman wants to do? I do see the reasons why women need it because of you smile. You give me that creepy smile.
I just want to say, listen, I don't give a fuck. My wife knows how I feel.
Yeah.
She loves me. So listen, I just want to say whatever you, the opposite of whatever you're saying is what I want to say.
For me, it's really like, I'm not really big on trying to be all up in women's production systems and stuff like that because I think it's kind of funny to me that as a man in society, government is not regulating me to do shit with my body, besides not put STDs and cheat on baseball. But they want to do that for women. I do see the positive things of what people can do, positive nature why people want to do abortions, but I also see the loss of life as well. But not everyone could be Olivia Benson, who is technically a rape-born victim in SVU, but that's besides the point. I just feel
that bitch. She was like, look at my life.
Yeah,
It was like,
but to me, I think that in terms of the decision from the Supreme Court, I don't like how people are going about it with how they're showing up to the Supreme Court justices' houses. I think everybody has a life. I think everybody has feelings in certain aspects. I don't think that if I said something, I don't want someone to be standing in the lobby waiting for me 24/7. I think that's disrespectful in a certain extent. I understand the protests in the city, but that's that. But doing it in everybody's day life and dealing with that, that's some bullshit. However, I think it's weird. It's not even weird. It's a big clusterfuck. That's what it is. It's just really a clusterfuck. But my thing is that they need to make it safer and they need real science behind it. My personal thing is I think there should be a council of women. It shouldn't be no man in this. That's my thing. It's a mixed bag.
I think.
On to you, sir.
I gotta answer the question.
Yeah.
I just think there's a difference between what you would do versus what you think the law should be for other people.
Yeah. I think that's the best way you summarize what I said.
Because
what's best for you.
Right. Because what's your name?
Christoph.
What he might do
is different.
I didn't hear that. Yeah. What he might do with his body or in his personal life, I think is different than what the law should be. Right. Yeah. That's it. I may or may not do something, but I just don't understand why you're trying to stop other people from doing shit. I don't give a fuck what you do as long as it doesn't bother me.
It does. Like it does. This is one of those fights to me that is so. It's disheartening for some. Like I can understand how women are like, you're invading my privacy, you're invading all this stuff. I definitely understand all that. I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying there's a big but. I understand that fully because as a man, there's nothing in this world that is telling me, hey, I can't do something. You know.
Except the law.
Except the law. Yeah, of course. It's the law, but it's like not something for me in terms of
for your reproduction
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's also look, eggs are more valuable than sperm. Nobody gives a fuck about your sperm.
Man,
most sperm don't get used.
Nope. In sperm banks.
Most sperm is shit. Right? Only like 20% of dudes are using sperm out here. Right?
And numbers are like fucking less now. But no, it's just like, to me, I know we're ranting. I already told you 15 minutes. We're gonna wrap this up, dog. I'm so sorry. But we as Americans, I think we need to figure out how there's so much bigger stuff to worry about, to handle. This is one of those things that they didn't need to touch at this time. If they were going to touch it, put some federal mandates on how these people can take away time from work and not get cast away from work, or how they can do stuff like that, or how they can help out these freaking, because you have a 3 or 4 year old daughter, right? 4-year-old daughter. How much daycare fucking costs now, stuff like that. So it's like, but again, does government supposed to help you out with everyday life like that in terms of the child besides tax? Like I don't have kids, so I don't know about that. So
they should be. They don't do shit for nobody.
No,
nobody's here for you, man.
No,
I'm only here for you, man. I'm only here for me, myself,
and I.
Yeah, me, myself, and I, and my daughter,
and your daughter,
my wife.
and your
That's
wife.
about it.
That's it.
Yep.
Nah.
Also, if you're my boy, you need to eat ass, son. You need to eat ass. The fuck, man?
Yo,
live your life.
Nah, man, I'm not gonna do that. I already risked enough in my life. I'm Black Man America, y'all. This is Will Bullock from. Y'all got me fucked up with this ass question. It's Will Bullock from DreamsNotFamePodcast. Peace, love, and bye.
Jordan open. I got 2 twin Glocks strapped to my hip. One for the ops, one for the dip. Got the drip on me, and she take a sip. Doing shit you never see, like a dream of crib. Got a shorty in the club, going dumb. Pour another drink from the night till the one. Party all night, getting lit to the sun. Doing shit for fun, throw another one. Ayy, I got 2 twin